Cuban cigars. Even the name has all this luxury and aura behind it. Yet, these hand-rolled smokes come with a massive price tag. Even as alternatives come out, Cuban cigars remain the ultimate pick for so many aficionados. Why? Is it simply the quality, or is there more to the story? In today's video, let's talk about why Cuban cigars are so expensive, the truth about fakes, and why they continue to reign supreme. Our journey into the world of Cuban cigars begins long before the first puff of smoke. Tobacco use in Cuba dates back to indigenous peoples who used the leaves for different purposes, like medicine and ceremonies. Then, the Spanish arrived in the 15th century. This was a turning point. They introduced rolling techniques from Europe, laying the foundation for the modern cigar. Fast forward to the 18th and 19th centuries, and Cuban cigars were taking the world by storm. Their reputation soared thanks to a combination of factors. It also didn't hurt when influential figures jumped in. British Prime Minister Sir Winston Churchill was a known cigar aficionado, and he helped solidify the link between Cuban cigars and luxury. The location also really matters. The unique soil and climate of Cuba, particularly in the Pinar del Rio province, produced exceptional tobacco leaves. Farmers there believe their secret weapon is terroir, a fancy way of saying the special combination of soil, climate, and sunshine that makes their tobacco leaves unique. They have the perfect recipe for growing the world's most incredible cigar tobacco. But even though Pinar del Rio might be the crown jewel of Cuban tobacco production, it's not the only player. Other regions in Cuba, like Vuelta Abajo and Semi-Vuelta, also cultivate high-quality tobacco leaves. Honestly, cigar making hasn't changed for over 200 years. That's the magic of Cuban cigars. It's a year-long process, starting with growing the tobacco leaves. They're then hung in special drying houses called torcedores for a slow fermentation that unlocks deep flavors and aromas. This helps make the smoke smooth and enjoyable. Each leaf then gets a personal inspection by a torcedor, a highly skilled cigar roller with a legendary reputation in Cuba. But who are these torcedores, the experts behind the perfect smoke? As you'll learn, rolling a Cuban cigar is an art form, not a factory assembly line. Each torcedor possesses a deep understanding of the different tobacco leaves. The ligero for strength, the seco for aroma, and the volado for a smooth burn. Then there's the binder that holds everything together. And finally, the wrapper, the outer layer that gives the cigar its beauty and personality. Their experienced hands bunch and roll the leaves, and their goal is to ensure a consistent draw and perfect burning. Even training to become a torcedor is no small feat. It usually involves a tough apprenticeship under a master roller, passing down the secrets of the trade for generations. Some legendary torcedores, like Alejandro Robena, have achieved almost mythical status in the cigar world. Now their names are forever linked to the art of Cuban cigar rolling. So it's definitely a big deal. The allure of a Cuban cigar also goes beyond its initial taste. Sure, the first taste is important, but there's a secret weapon that unlocks its full potential: aging. Just like wine gets better with time, Cuban cigars take months, sometimes even years, to develop. They're put in special rooms with just the right amount of moisture and temperature. This allows all those complex flavors and aromas to mix and mature, creating a unique smoking experience. And the longer a Cuban cigar ages, the more desirable it becomes. Naturally, these aged beauties come with a higher price tag. For collectors, these vintage smokes are rare and incredibly valuable, fetching sky-high prices at auctions. We've seen how making these cigars is an art form. Of course, Cuban cigars aren't mass-produced. They take a long time to make, with years of aging and careful crafting by skilled rollers. Because they take so long to make, and because everyone wants them, there aren't always enough to go around. This limited availability also drives up the price. But even more than that, the other demand and supply factors are fueling the high cost. As the world comes back from the pandemic, there's a surge in demand for luxury goods. And Cuban cigars, with their rich history and craftsmanship, naturally fit the bill. This booming demand outpaces production, pushing prices skyward. The ongoing US embargo also complicates matters. It limits exports to a massive market, forcing Cuban cigar makers to focus on other markets. This increases competition and drives up prices as they secure international buyers. But there are challenges beyond the market too, like Mother Nature's wrath. Storms, bugs, and even diseases can mess with Cuba's tobacco crops. Fewer good leaves means there's less to go around, and that makes the good stuff more expensive. On top of that, the Cuban government has gotten stricter about how cigars are made and sold. All these extra steps add to the cost, which eventually gets passed on to you, the smoker. Size matters too. Bigger cigars with more tobacco leaves naturally cost more. The shape of the cigar can also affect the price. Some shapes are trickier to roll than others, so they might cost a bit extra. Finally, there's the brand name. Some Cuban cigar brands are like celebrities in the cigar world. They have a reputation for amazing quality, and that adds a premium to the price. Speaking of such brands, there's a special group of Cuban cigars called Habanos. They're the all-stars. Habanos is partly owned by the Cuban government, and these guys are the gatekeepers. They make sure only the very best Cuban cigars get the Habano label. So not every Cuban cigar is a Habano. Only a select few brands make the cut, and Habanos says their cigars are made with super strict quality control. To keep things on the rise and avoid fakes, Habanos only sells their cigars to special companies in each country. But there's one big exception: the United States. Thanks to a long-standing disagreement, Cuban cigars haven't been allowed in the US since the 1960s. This is where things get interesting. The ban actually made people want Cuban cigars even more. It created a black market where people sell smuggled or fake cigars. These fakes often use inferior tobacco leaves, lack the construction of a genuine Cuban cigar, and can even pose health risks to those who smoke them. But spotting a fake requires a keen eye. Look for inconsistencies in the wrapper, poorly applied bands, and loose construction. So, the high price of Cuban cigars has a lot to do with this special Habanos club, the limited supply, and the whole US embargo situation. While they're expensive, for some smokers, an Habano cigar is a treat. A top-quality smoke with a story behind it. And there you have it. For those who are willing to pay the price, there's nothing quite like a premium Cuban stogie to enjoy on a special occasion. Kick back, relax, and let the smoke do its thing. And if you want to know why some other things are so darn expensive, be sure to check out the other videos on our channel. See you next time, and thanks for watching.